name is Davidson here at Elko Middle School. This is my 7th grade advanced English class, and today we're going to be learning about how conflict affects theme. Okay, you guys should already know what theme is. Like we talked about, this is something that you've learned since 5th grade. So instead of me telling you what theme is, I want you to tell me what theme is. At your tables, very quickly, nothing long or fancy, discuss what is theme, and I'm going to ask you guys to report back out to me. You've got 30 seconds to come up with a definition. Ready, set, go.
What makes the story? Or like if it's a horror book, it's like the horror. It's like the you need the theme in order to have the story. Yes, you need like the theme in order to like have the story.
Talk to each other. Don't talk to me.
Yes. Or like not the genre.
The authors. The authors.
One of you.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who thinks they got it? Gentlemen.
I think it is the message or lesson the author wants you to get.
All right. Message or lesson. Okay. Now, would anyone like to add, subtract, comment on this definition that we got from table 1? Ollie.
It's the lesson method.
Okay. Focusing mainly on this word here. Sam?
I agree with what both of them said, but I also think it could be the topic of the story.
Okay. So somehow or another, topic comes in to play here. James?
The date, time, and setting.
Date, time, setting, that all plays more into setting. But you do need to know those things, right? All of those things, setting, character, conflict, all lead to understanding the theme. Marley, anything else to comment on?
You could really just say it's the moral of the story.
Okay, so especially in elementary school, they tell you that it is the moral of the story. So, the correct answer is, good job, gentlemen. Yes, it is the message or lesson that the author wants you to get out of a text. So please add that to your notes from today. The reason, yes, identifying a lesson is important, and in fact, most themes will be some sort of lesson that the character learns, which is why we're talking about conflict. However, it is important to note that sometimes it's not lesson, like something you should or shouldn't do. Sometimes it's just an idea about life. Maybe the author really wants to write a story about how life is beautiful, even during hard times. That's not necessarily a lesson, right? Not something you should or shouldn't do. It's more just a state of mind. And sometimes an author really just wants to communicate that or another idea about what it means to be alive. So as we move into learning how to find theme, I have a couple of tips for you. Tips and tricks and suggestions. Suggestion or tip number 1. Theme statements should be general statements about the world. They should not have any character details or events from the story in them. These are from Lemon Brown. Think back to Treasure of Lemon Brown. So, may I have a volunteer to read the good theme statement? Hazel.
Appreciate the people who you love.
Okay. Can you relate to that statement? Can you apply it to your life? Yes. Appreciate the people who love you. James, you should do that. Kelsey, you should do that. Everybody should appreciate the people who love you. That is a lesson that the author wants you to get out of it. If I were to tell you, hey, Kelsey, or Nadia, sorry, Greg needs to appreciate his dad's love. Can you apply that to your life? No, it's Greg. It's about Greg. So you need to make sure that your theme statements apply to everyone. They should not have any specific character details in it. Last tip, and this is the big one for today. Look for a change or a lesson learned in the main character. So you know your protagonist. We talked about complex characters last week. Complex characters should change from the beginning of the novel to the end of the novel, or the beginning of the story to the end of the story. So you're going to be looking at that change specifically. What did the character learn? How did the character change? What did that conflict do to them that made them a better person? Because chances are, if the author had the main character learn a lesson, the author wants you, the reader, to learn the same lesson. So those are our 2 tips for the day. And then we're going to move into practicing finding theme. We're going to do 1 together, which is the paper you guys picked up from me, and then you guys are going to do 1 on your own in groups. Take another 10 seconds to finish this up. When you are done, so that I know you are finished, close your notebooks and put your paper in front of you so that I know you are ready to move on. If you want to go ahead and stack them, that's cool too. Awesome. Thank you. You guys are the best. All right. Ready? Good. All right. If you are still missing something, you can look on with a neighbor. Just get those last couple of words. All right. So this is a big version of what you have on your paper. We are going to start with a story you guys know really well. We're going to start with Yara and the Witch Queen. So the very first thing we're going to do, you notice almost this entire graphic organizer talks about conflict. It's only this last box that talks about theme. This is to stress to you how closely linked these are. The conflict in the story and how the character acts before, during, and after a conflict almost always will lead you directly to the theme, which is why it's down here. So, let's start with the conflict of the story. First of all, what is the type? Think back. What is the type of conflict in Yara and the Witch Queen? Correct. So, we have character versus society. If I write, you should write. Everybody should be writing. Marvelous. I'm doing C for character for short, because I have not a lot of room here, because y'all know how thick this pen is. Okay, so generally speaking, what is the problem in this story? Cam?
The Witch Queen is lying due to Amethyst bars, and she's stuck in captivity.
Why is she stuck in captivity? Yeah.
I'm gonna try to remember, but like, I'm pretty sure it's because the kingdom said no magic people.
No magic people. Yeah, magic equals bad. So, they have banned magic and imprisoned Yoruza, or the Witch Queen, WQ for short. And how is that a problem for Yara? What becomes a problem for her? What does she want to do? By doing what, specifically? Correct. So Yara wants to break her out. This is the basic summary of our conflict. If you had to explain this to somebody who has never read the short story, they would pretty much understand. So, now we're looking specifically at Yara, her personality, her beliefs, her thoughts, before, during, and after the conflict. So before the conflict, before she even knew that Yaruza was down there, what did she believe? What were her thoughts? What is something that she believed? Yes. Correct. She believed what her parents told her, that magic and witches equals bad.
Write everything you're writing.
Yes, please. Well, you don't have to write it exactly like that. I'm using shorthand because it's kind of hard to fit everything down. If you have the ability to write more neatly, go for it. So she believed magic was bad, witches were dangerous, they should be banned. Her parents had taught her that her whole life, right? But then what happens? What is happening to her during the conflict? Oh, wait. So before, what does she witness that starts the change? What does she witness? Khalil. She sees her parents go through a secret entrance, right? And she discovers more than that. What does she discover? Correct. She discovers that her parents have been keeping a witch imprisoned in their basement, basically, her whole life. A little hypocritical, right? Yeah, a little bit. So already her wheels are turning. Already she's starting to think, to question. So during the conflict, what happens? She discovers Yaruza, and what does she start to do? Marley. Okay. Tess. She goes to see her, and they become friends. Right. So she meets Yaruza, and instead of just being like, witch, gross, she goes and visits her and talks to her, and they actually become friends. Because she becomes friends with Yaruza, what does she choose to do? What does she choose to do? Caleb, what does she choose to do?
Help her escape.
Correct. When she finds out that Yaruza is dying, she chooses to help her escape. Do you think that she would have helped her escape if she had not become her friend?
No.
Probably not. Especially considering what she had been told all her life, right? If she had been told, had never met Yaruza, just been told, hey, by the way, like, there's this witch in the basement and she's, like, dying, she would probably be like, oh, that's tough. Sorry. Right. Sounds like a you problem. But because she became friends with her, she decides to help her escape. That is her and escape. These are two separate words. It's a little messy, sorry. So she does. We all know how it ends. She actually does end up helping Yaruza escape. How is she after? Think about that very last section. How has she changed? And what might she change in the future? Ari. Okay. What does she believe now? S-O-N. There we go. What does she believe now? Somebody new. May. Right. She becomes more open-minded. She doesn't actually think that all magic is bad and all witches are dangerous. So she changes her mind. And we don't know this, but we get a little hint, a little foreshadowing about what might happen in the future. And what is that? When she becomes queen. Armorel. So she might, we don't know because the story doesn't go there, but we get a strong hint that she might change the law. Yes?
It didn't really say in the story, but I feel like she's not going to trust her parents anymore.
So it might lead to a change in relationship between her and her parents. Okay, so now comes the fun part. This is pretty straightforward. All you have to do is read the story. Now I want you to take this and I want you to translate it into a message or lesson about life that the author wants us to get out of this story. So take a look at how Yara has changed and what lessons she has learned through the course of this experience. And I want you, again, at your tables, to come up with a theme statement. Take about 30 seconds and I want you to write down your table's idea in this box down here. At the end of about 30 seconds, I'm going to ask for volunteers. Okay? Every table needs to have a theme statement though. Ready, set, go. Oh, and try to avoid cliches, please. Y'all know what a cliche is? Cliche is a phrase that gets overused. So like, don't judge a book by its cover. I don't want to see that. I want your words, not somebody else's.
What do you think?
What do you guys got?
Don't judge someone based on what other people say.
Okay.
Don't follow my experience.
Okay, good.
I don't think that's a good message.
Wouldn't a good message be like sometimes you gotta be open minded?
What do you think? What do you guys got?
That not all stereotypes are true.
Okay, good. Good, good. I like that. What about you guys?
Stereotypes
Interesting, okay.
Stereotypes is bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you got?
No, not all stereotypes are bad.
Aha, okay, like it. Guys, did you come up with yours? I know you were still struggling last time I walked by. What do you think?
People aren't always as they are portrayed.
Ah, I like that. That's a good, good vocabulary word there. Okay. Oh, all right. Who would like to share theirs? A lot of people have similar versions of the same idea, which is totally fine. All right, why don't we just go in backwards order, actually. So, starting over here, what did you guys say? Okay, so don't believe necessarily what you have been told. Don't trust rumors. 4.
Not all stereotypes are true.
Okay, not all stereotypes are true. Just because someone has a reputation for doing something does not necessarily mean that they will. Table 3.
Just because someone is different doesn't mean they're always bad.
Very true. An excellent lesson to learn. Table 2.
I think what we thought the theme is don't judge people based on what other people say.
Okay. Create your own experiences before you make a judgment. Good. Gentlemen.
People aren't always as they're portrayed.
Excellent vocabulary word. People are not always as they are portrayed. All of these kind of circle around the same idea. So do you notice how even though everybody had a different way of saying it, the idea was kind of the same, which is how themes should be. There isn't really one right way to say it, but the ideas should still be similar. So this idea that make sure that you are making up your own mind with your own experiences. Don't trust stereotypes. Don't trust how someone is portrayed to you. Always make sure that you go to the source. So, you're going to say, always use your own experience to form judgments about people. Fabulous. All right. So now that we've done one together, you guys are going to be doing one on your own. If you could please take out your laptops. You are going to be reading your own chapter and working in groups to fill out your own chart. Thank you so much for visiting. Hope you enjoyed our lesson.